Hey, so I thought this might be a useful video to basically make a video covering a bit into index bloat in itself. What are some of the potential causes of it? How exactly you fix it? So in this example, I purposely made a really ugly page to try and basically show it more easy to certain people who are not aware of index and bloat. So I basically just made a really stupid title of the red. Why is I creating a stupid title for the red? What does red mean? Is it red car? Is it a red house? Is it a red wall? We don't know. It's a bad title because it doesn't help people understand what exactly is going on. Unless it was a company called for some reason for red or a product called a red, it doesn't make sense. So you can see here, I got here a very big image. A big image itself, in a lot of cases, will load very slow on internet. In most internet services, quite often it will struggle unless someone's a very fast internet speed. On mobiles, it will generally not go as well since the image is quite big. We can also see as well the content here is very low quality. I basically even purposely made the quality low quality here to show you this is something which can get involved in index bloating. In a sense, Google may not want to index your content as easy in regards to, low quality content such as this. I mean, for example, this sounds terrible, index bloat, learn spelt wrong, the big story of possible ready vehicle to help us produce the different data about the new red car which we just found about 10 minutes, friend. It sounds terrible. So why exactly would Google be less likely to index this type of content? Because the content itself is terrible. It provides no value to a reader. If the content itself provides no value to a reader or anyone really, then you shouldn't have it on your site. And if you're finding out that Google is indexing these sort of content you're producing, whether it's low quality, if you have wrote yourself or paid someone to do, or low quality from an AI service of some kind, it doesn't really matter. But if all your index budget itself is going into horrible content like this and horrible pages, then you're basically wasting the amount of indexing you're allowed of your site per month, per year, by having low quality content. I've also made a couple more things just to make it so it's more easy for somebody to get. I've made another big image here to try and make the site load slow. I basically made quite a big image of one of my videos before to try and make it slower. You may be thinking, so why exactly am I trying to make it slow? That seems a bit bizarre, doesn't it? Well, the reason for why exactly I'm trying to make it slow, I'm basically trying to show to you this is the sort of things which can make your content be harder for people to simply read, harder for them to use, or harder for it to index. If you're having a lot of problems with people indexing your site, or searching and indexing your stuff, it's quite often caused by simply low quality content you got. Maybe you got an error in your site. This could be an error caused by maybe you've done JavaScript wrong, maybe you've done a hypertext markup problem, maybe you got some other error in your coding, you haven't got enough interlinking. I purposely left that interlink there just to show you, in theory, for us to have interlinking done, we'd have to at least have one thing to our last post or one that's relatable. You can do two, you can do a bit more, it's really your choice. I generally try and go for at least one for each one. In an example here, I basically just put there as an example of what you should in theory have, and always a link going back to your post or your past article or whatever you want to call it in your site. I've also purposely left one which kind of looks a bit stupid here, want to learn quick here. So why exactly would I say this is kind of a stupid thing in regards to, basically making it sensible for people? Well, clicking here, it doesn't really provide any value to the reader or value to the person visiting your site. I mean, if for example purposes, we had some special offer. For example, maybe we had a special offer on, say, selling cars. For example, maybe we're doing, say, quick here for, your discount code, like 5%, then it might make sense. But because we haven't done anything to show why it makes sense, it just seems stupid here. So that'd be an example of something we wouldn't want to include into our site when we're trying to make it more easy for it to index. With regard to things which can cause problems in some cases, interlinking itself can affect your site in certain cases. If you put the code in wrong or part of your site's gone wrong, such as maybe you put the analytics in wrong, your search console wrong, that itself can potentially give an issue to it. If you're not sure it's wrong, try and go back into your search console, your analytics, and check your data, your code's right. If, for example, purposely you find out, this thing's not being checked by analytics in, let's say, 24 hours or 44 hours, whatever, it doesn't matter, then check and make sure your code's right. If you're positive your code's right, then you can get around it by simply putting it into another part of your site, in the header section. If you're using WordPress, you can use plugins to do it for you to make it more easy. Google themselves have their own, basically, plugin itself. Google's own plugin, I would say, is a very good quality one. that would probably be your best plugin to use in regards to, your daily work on regarding to your Google accounts as a whole. That would be something good to use if you're not already using it. Use it. You can also as well do it if you want to use other ones such as Monster's pretty cool. The Monster SEO plugin's good. Slim SEO's good. It's like everything. It depends on your preference. What's the right coding style you want to use or the right plugin you want to use. It's not really wrong or right answers. It's more your preference. But in general, for bloating, that kind of stuff, it's normally down to your site's got some issue. You'll generally be able to find out the issues in your site by simply reading your search console data and what it tells you. If there's any, marks saying you got to fix this, then fix it and actually make it more easy for you. If you're in your analytics, read your analytics and see if there's any errors. If there's any errors or things you don't think are right, then get a fix. And that should, in theory, allow your content to be more easy to be indexed. If you're basically completely paused, you said, your site's perfect, you can't do any better, 100% perfect score, you're going to give yourself an on page. If that is true and you strongly believe that, then cool. Then, if you can't get it indexed, the way around it is two things. We need to do some quality link building. This includes quality guest posts. So if you're struggling to get and you're sure your on page is really, really good or your clients is, getting some guest posts attached to your site is a good way to improve your indexing rate. It's also useful as well to do some social media work. This could be simply sharing your things on Facebook, X, getting some links, some social signals, so say Reddit, Instagram, LinkedIn, that kind of stuff. That itself can be used as a potential way to help speed up your index or make your site more attractive to Google because social signals themselves are quite an important factor in regards to how well your site ranks as a whole. YouTube itself will generally index your links quite quickly. So if you make a YouTube video, attach a link to whatever you're trying to index, that should normally help to speed up your index process. If you find your stuff's really struggling to get indexed, you have some kind of error in your site. This could be an on-page error, this could be an off-page error, but in most cases, the best way to find out what's actually gone wrong is to simply read the data you're being presented in your search console or your analytics itself, or your tag manager if you're using that, or any other Google property you're using. They will generally tell you things to help you in most cases. If you're right, I really can't do this, I don't know what's gone wrong, you will have to generally just contact someone you believe that can fix it, and then hopefully that person, that firm, should be able to give you the guidance you need to improve your indexing rate. You can also as well use indexing software. I'm going to explain some of the reasons it may be worth you. I'm also going to talk about what some reasons it may not be free. So the basic principle of indexing programs is basically, you pay some money, this thing will in theory index our posts on page really quickly, which is pretty cool. The biggest issue you have with these sort of things is generally down to this. Because Google itself upgrades their algorithm quite regular basis, this means your indexer might be working for a few months, even a year, then all of a sudden stops working. So that itself can become something that's a bit irritating. That's why I generally don't really use indexer. I have my own little mini indexer built for if I ever need a speed up of indexing rate, but I don't really do it much anymore. The reason for why I don't do it any much anymore, if you have good quality content, your site itself is good on page and you're always making it better, your index rate itself should be pretty good. I know in some cases when you start a new site, it can get a bit frustrating. Things can take longer to index. I'm afraid that's just how Google itself works. You can't really get around it. If you really hate that, you can in some cases. You could say buy an expired domain, an auction domain, whatever you want to call it, and you could perform a redirection from that site to your new site. You can do that if that's a big issue to you or your client. That's a way you can speed up your indexing rate because the authority from the past site will basically spread into your new site. So that's something you can do if it is an issue or is annoying you. You can do it. But like always, if you're going to be doing that, do research into who's the right people to buy your sites. If you're not experienced about it, then hire someone really smart, really cool, like say Callan. Callan's a really cool guy, basically sells domains. I will leave a link to his website. He's a fantastic guy, really wonderful guy. You can get domains off him if you need basically more if you like professional service or websites to do these sort of things, or you simply just want a quality domain. He's fantastic, really great guy. So anyway, that's basically it in simple terms. There's other parts that you can include, different things can go wrong, but a simple way to find out if you have an issue is look at your site. If you're saying your site is perfect, you don't think there's anything wrong with it, it loads fast, your image quality is great, it looks great on a mobile phone, a laptop, a desktop, all screen sizes, then cool, that's good. You got your interlinking done, it's alright, you're sure it's perfect, it's going great, and you've checked in all of your areas, you believe you've done a professional audit, and you can't find any problems, and you checked your backlinks are basically good. If that's the case, then you'll have to pay someone to perform an audit to you to then hopefully solve what exactly is an issue with your site. But your Search Console and your analytics and other Google properties are designed to help you in most cases. So if you get stuck, read your Search Console, read your analytics, or read anything else you use to get data from Google to help you. AdSense itself can be useful in some cases for telling your traffic rate, telling your click through rate, for example. If you have a really horrendous click through rate, for example, let's just say the average you need is 6% click through rate and you're only getting 1%. That means as a whole, you got to work on improving the quality of your site. You got to make your titles better. You got to make your metas better. You got to basically improve your image quality. You got to do something to make your click through rate better. So work on improving it if that's the case. Anyway, that's all the video. Thanks, and I hope you have a good weekend. See you later.